The house feels colder lately. Not the kind of cold a heater can fix something emptier, heavier. Haley used to fill this space with laughter, her voice bouncing through every room. Now, silence sits where her smile used to be. I check the clock. 11:47 p.m. She's late. Again. The headlights flash through the window. I exhale in relief that feels pathetic even to me. The front door clicks open. "Hey," I say, standing in the kitchen doorway. She doesn't look at me. "Hey, you're late." "Yeah, work ran long." She tosses her purse on the couch like the day exhausted her more than I ever could. "At the design firm again?" I ask, trying to sound casual. She nods, pulling off her heels. "Big client. You wouldn't understand. It's stressful." Swallow the sting. "You could have texted." "I didn't think you'd notice," she says softly, almost under her breath. "I hear it. I always hear it. I notice everything, Haley." She sighs, brushing her hair back. "Ethan, not tonight, please. I'm just talking." "Yeah, and I'm tired." We stare at each other, the air thick between us. She walks past me to the bedroom. I follow a moment later, slower. It's careful not to look desperate. She's already on her side of the bed, scrolling through her phone, the glow lighting her face. "Who are you texting?" I ask before I can stop myself. She frowns. "Seriously." "It's just a question," Rachel said. "You've been acting paranoid lately," she says. My jaw tightens. "You've been talking to my sister?" "She called me. She's worried about you." "About me?" I laugh dryly. "That's new, Ethan. What's happening to us?" I want to say you. "You're what's happening?" But instead, I whisper, "Maybe we just stop trying." Her eyes flicker. For a second, the softness I fell in love with returns, but then she looks away. I need to shower. When the bathroom door closes, I lie there listening to the water. My chest aches with the kind of pain you can't pinpoint. She's here, but miles away. The next morning, I make coffee like always. She grabs her cup. No sugar, no eye contact. "You're heading out early?" I ask. "Yeah. Client breakfast downtown." "With who?" Her eyes lift sharply. "Ethan, stop. I just asked a question. You don't trust me anymore, do you?" "Should I?" She exhales hard. "I can't do this right now." "Then when?" She walks toward the door, clutching her purse. "After your sister stops filling your head with ideas, Rachel only sees what's already there. Then maybe she should mind her own marriage before talking about ours." The door slams, and I'm left standing there. Coffee cooling in my hand, Rachel shows up that evening, uninvited, holding a grocery bag. "You look terrible, thanks," I mutter. "She's out again?" "Yeah, probably dinner with her team." Rachel raises an eyebrow. "She told me she quit 2 weeks ago." The words hit like a punch. "What?" "She said she needed a break." "So what team is she with now?" I sit down slowly. "You're sure she said that?" "Positive." I rub my temples. "Maybe she'll start it again." "I don't know." Rachel leans forward. "Ethan, she's lying to you." "Don't," I whisper. "Not unless you're sure." "I'm sure." "You're just too scared to see it." Asterisk. I shake my head, refusing to let the thought stick. Haley wouldn't do that. She's not the same person, Ethan. People change when they think they can get more out of life. Enough, Rachel. My voice cracks sharper than I expect. You don't know her like I do. She studies me, pity softening her face. That's exactly the problem. When she leaves, the house feels even quieter. I scroll through my phone, hovering over Haley's contact. Typing and deleting messages I'll never send. By midnight, she still isn't home. I step outside, the cool Boston air biting at my face. Across the street, a silver car pulls up, headlights cutting through the dark. Haley steps out, her laugh floating across the night. A man's shadow moves behind her in the driver's seat. My stomach twists. She doesn't see me standing by the porch light. When she finally looks up, her smile fades for a second, then returns, practiced and perfect. Asterisk, who was that? I ask when she walks up the steps. A coworker. He gave me a ride. At midnight. She crosses her arms. You're making this something it's not. Just asking, stop asking. Her voice rises. God, Ethan, I can't breathe around you anymore. Because you're hiding something? Because you're suffocating me. We stand inches apart, breathing hard. For a moment, I almost reach for her, almost beg her to tell me I'm wrong. But she just shakes her head. You've changed, she whispers. I changed because you did first. She turns away, her voice suddenly calm, cold enough to freeze everything left between us. Ethan, she says, hand on the doorframe, maybe we rushed this marriage. The door closes softly behind her, but the echo feels permanent, like the sound of something breaking that will never be whole again. The ballroom glitters with champagne light and fake smiles. Everyone's dressed to impress, but all I can think about is how Haley hasn't looked at me once tonight. I whisper, you okay? She adjusts her bracelet without meeting my eyes. I'm fine. Just tired. You've been tired a lot lately. She forces a smile. Maybe you're just reading too much into it. I nod, pretending that's enough. It never is. Across the room, I spot a tall man in a tailored navy suit, confident. Easy grin, the kind that gets attention without trying. People seem to part around him. Then I see the way Haley's posture changes. Her shoulders straighten, her breath catches. Who's that? I ask. She freezes for a split second, then smiles too easily. Just someone I used to know from work. Her voice lowers. Ethan, not now. He notices us. And when he walks over, the sound of his shoes on marble feels louder than the music. Haley Bennett, he says, his tone smooth. Didn't expect to see you here. Haley laughs, soft and nervous. Dylan Brooks. Wow, it's been ... forever. My pulse kicks. Dylan, the name she once said by accident in her sleep. She turns toward me quickly. Ethan, this is Dylan, an old friend from college. I offer a hand. Friend, huh? He shakes it, firm and confident. Yeah, college feels like a lifetime ago. His eyes don't leave Haley's face. I can't tell if I'm imagining it. That look, familiarity, history, something unspoken, so Dylan says. Leaning closer to her, still chasing dreams, or did you finally slow down? She laughs, touching his arm lightly. Still chasing, I guess. I glance at her hand. She doesn't notice. Ethan runs a real estate firm, she adds quickly, almost defensively. Oh, nice, Dylan says. Haley always said you were steady, reliable. The word reliable stings worse than it should. Haley tries to shift the topic. So, Dylan, what brings you back to Boston? He grins. Business. Run a few investment projects in New York now. Doing all right? Still the golden boy? She teases. The sound of her laugh burns through me. That soft, flirty tone she hasn't used with me in months. I sip my drink to hide my expression, but my hands shake. Excuse me, I mutter. Haley grabs my wrist. Ethan, don't be rude. I pull away gently. Just need some air. Outside, the cold hits harder than expected. I lean against the railing, watching people step out of luxury cars, smiling like their lives are perfect. Rachel's voice echoes in my head. Something's off with her. I breathe deeply, counting seconds until my pulse slows. When I finally go back inside, I see them near the bar, heads tilted close. She's laughing again, that real, full laugh she used to save for me. Dylan says something, and she touches his chest like she used to touch mine when she wanted to call me. My chest tightens so hard it hurts. I walk straight toward them. Haley, I say sharply. She startles, stepping back. Ethan, you're back. Yeah, I say flatly. Missed all the fun? Dylan smirks. We were just catching up. Looked like more than that. Haley's voice hardens. Don't start here. Where should I start then? She glances around nervously. You're embarrassing me. No, I say quietly. You're embarrassing us. Dylan raises his hands in mock surrender. Hey, I didn't mean to stir trouble. I'll give you 2 minutes. As he walks off, Haley exhales, eyes flashing irritation. What the hell was that? I should be asking you. You're acting jealous. I'm acting human. Asterisk. She shakes her head. You have no idea how ridiculous you sound. Maybe, I say, my voice tight. But you lit up when you saw him, Haley. Like you just remembered what happiness feels like. Her lips part, but no words come. For a second, guilt flickers across her face. Then it's gone. You're imagining things, she says softly. Am I? She looks down. Ethan, can we please not do this here? Fine, I step aside. Pretend nothing's wrong. You're good at that. She grabs my arm before I leave. Don't walk away from me. Then tell me the truth. Asterisk, her voice drops to a whisper. He's just a friend. The words hang between us, fragile and poisonous. I stare at her. You want me to believe that? Yes, she says, almost pleading. Because it's true. But I can see it, the tiny tremor in her hands, the way she avoids my eyes. The truth isn't in her words. It's in the way she can't look at me anymore. We drive home in silence. Streetlights flash across her face, slicing her expression into pieces. Guilt. Defiance, something else I can't name. Halfway there, I finally speak. You smiled at him like you used to smile at me. She turns her head toward the window. You're imagining things again. I grip the steering wheel tighter. You used to hold my hand at those events. You didn't even stand next to me tonight, because you make everything awkward. She snaps. You question every move I make. It's exhausting, and because you keep giving me reasons to question you. She folds her arms. You're overreacting. Yeah, maybe I am. The rest of the drive feels endless. When we finally pull into the driveway, she gets out before I can say another word. Inside, she kicks off her heels and heads straight for the bedroom. Haley, I call softly. Just tell me if you still love me. She stops, back turned. Of course I do, she says quickly, too quickly. But her reflection in the window tells me otherwise, eyes distant. Mouth trembling, I whisper, mostly to myself. Then why do I see the truth in your eyes? She doesn't answer. And in the silence that follows, I finally realize whatever love we had is slipping through my fingers, one lie at a time. Asterisk, the morning sunlight feels fake, too bright for what's about to happen. Haley sits across from me at the kitchen table, hands folded, eyes empty. A stack of papers rests between us. Ethan, she says quietly, we need to talk. I already know the script. My stomach still twists anyway. About what? She slides the folder toward me. About us. I stare at the papers. The word divorce blinks up at me like a warning sign. What is this? My voice cracks. You know what it is? No, I don't. I thought we were just struggling, not ending. Her tone doesn't change. I can't live like this anymore. Like what? In silence. In doubt. You don't trust me? I laugh bitterly. You stopped giving me reasons too, she exhales. See? That's exactly it. So your solution is to walk away. She stands, pacing. We've become strangers, Ethan. It's not healthy. Who told you that? No one. Dylan. She freezes for half a second, enough for me to see it. Don't, she warns. I'm not stupid, Haley. I saw the way you looked at him. Her eyes harden. This isn't about Dylan. Then what is it about? It's about me wanting to breathe again. I slam my palm on the table, the sound echoing too loud. So you're just done? After everything? She flinches but doesn't back down. Please sign the papers, Ethan. The room feels smaller. The clock ticks louder. You really want this? I do. You'll regret it. Maybe, but not as much as I regret staying. I stare at her, at the woman I built my world around, and I don't recognize her anymore. Is there someone else? I ask softly. Her jaw tightens. No. Look me in the eye and say it. She hesitates. There isn't. But her eyes, they flicker again, just like that night at the gala. I push back my chair slowly. Then go, if that's what you want. She picks up her purse, avoiding my gaze. I'll come by later to get the rest of my things. When the door shuts, the silence crashes down so hard it almost drowns me. I sit there for a long time, staring at the papers. My reflection stares back from the glass table, tired, broken. humiliated. Rachel's voice breaks the stillness hours later. Ethan. I don't turn. She left. She steps closer, her tone cautious. I heard, are those? I nod. Rachel sits beside me. You don't have to sign them. She doesn't want me rage. What's the point? The point is something's off. I don't buy her act. She said she can't live like this anymore. Yeah, and I can't live without caffeine. But here we are. I almost smile, but it dies quickly. You think she's hiding something? I think she's too calm. People who end a marriage that easily are either lying or planning something. Before I can answer, my phone buzzes. It's Mark. Hey man, he says when I pick up. Rachel called me. You okay? Define okay. I'm coming over. 20 minutes later, Mark stands in my kitchen, sleeves rolled up, eyes scanning the papers. She already filed these? Yeah, he whistles low. Fast. Too fast. What do you mean? Divorce filings usually take prep lawyers, documentation, financial declarations. She must have started this weeks ago. Rachel folds her arms. Told you. I frown. She said it was sudden. Mark shakes his head. No chance. You mind if I check something? What? Public records? Sometimes they show weird financial moves before a divorce. New accounts, loans, transfers. Go ahead, I say half-hearted. Maybe you'll find out she bought herself a new conscience. He smirks faintly. Give me a minute. He scrolls through his tablet, fingers flying. The only sounds are his quiet muttering and Rachel's foot tapping against the floor. Finally, he stops. His expression shifts, serious, sharp. Ethan, you might want to see this. I step closer. What is it? Haley applied for multiple high-value loans in her name. 3, actually. All within the last 4 months. Loans? For what? Property. Investment deals that never closed. Rachel's brow furrows. You're saying she's in debt? Deep, Mark says. And get this. One of the guarantor signatures matches Dylan Brooks. The name hits like a gut punch. You're kidding. I wish I was. Rachel mutters, she's been lying to you for months. My head feels like it's spinning. So she's divorcing me while drowning in debt, and Dylan's part of it? Looks that way, Mark says. Maybe she's cutting you off so her mess doesn't drag you down legally. Or maybe, Rachel says coldly, she's planning to use the divorce to protect herself. Make it look like she has nothing to do with him. Grip the edge of the counter. She looked me in the eye and said she just wanted to breathe. Mark sighs. People say a lot when they're hiding something. Rachel leans forward. Ethan, you can't just sit here. You need to find out why she did this. Yeah, I whisper. I will. The papers still lie on the table, innocent in their neat stack. I slide them back, toward me, and stare at the signature line with her name beside mine. The ink looks too clean, too final. Mark claps a hand on my shoulder. You want me to dig deeper? Do it, I say quietly. Find everything, Rachel adds. And don't talk to Haley yet. Not until you know what you're dealing with. I nod slowly, my chest heavy, but my pulse sharper now, alive with something I haven't felt in weeks. Not love. Not heartbreak clarity. When they leave, I'm alone again with the papers. I pick up a pen, hover over my name, and stop. I can almost hear her voice. Please sign them, Ethan. I set the pen down. Not yet, I murmur. Not until I know what you're hiding. The sunlight fades, leaving only the faint reflection of those papers on the table, the first spark of something dangerous in my chest. I'm done breaking. It's time to start seeing. I spent the entire night staring at the ceiling, the divorce papers glowing in the dark like an accusation. By morning, I'd made up my mind. If Haley wanted to burn our marriage down, I'd sift through the ashes and see what she was hiding underneath. Liam's office smelled of coffee and corporate polish. He smiled when I walked in. Ethan, been a while. What brings you here? Thinking of refinancing my business, I said casually. Figured I'd talk to someone I trust. He gestured for me to sit. Of course. You've always been sharp with your finances, trying to be. I leaned back, pretending to relax. Before we get into details, could you check if any joint accounts under my name have recent changes? Just want to make sure everything's aligned before refinancing. Liam nodded, typing. No problem. Da. My pulse thudded in my ears. He frowned slightly. A couple of unusual transactions. Not from your business account, personal side? I forced a chuckle. Haley probably moved some money around. She's been handling a few things lately. He looked at me over his glasses. Handling. Big things, apparently. What do you mean? He turned the monitor slightly. These aren't small moves, Ethan. She's been linked to 3 loan accounts. Unsecured, high value. And she's been using a corporate guarantor. I swallowed. Corporate? Yes, a company called Brooks and Avery Capital. The name stabbed through me. Brooks? Dylan Brooks, he confirmed, glancing at the record. Recognize the name. I managed a tight smile. Yeah, her friend. Liam hesitated. Ethan, I probably shouldn't be showing you this. It's fine, I interrupted softly. This stays between us, right? He nodded. Of course. But if she's in this deep, you might want legal counsel. I stood, gripping the edge of the chair. How deep? He clicked another file. Her debts in the hundreds of thousands. If those loans default, Dylan's company eats it, or you do. If any joint assets were pledged. The room tilted slightly. I forced myself to smile again. Thank you, Liam. This was helpful? You sure you're okay? Never better. Outside, the city felt like a different planet. Every sound, car horns, footsteps, laughter blurred into static. I walked without thinking, past cafes we used to visit, past the jewelry store, where I bought her anniversary ring. Every moment replayed in reverse. Her laughter, her promises, the way she said, I just need to breathe. Breathe. She'd been choking me with lies. By the time I reached home, something inside me had hardened. Rachel called before sunset. Did you find anything? More than I wanted to. What's that mean? She's in debt, hundreds of thousands. Dylan's company's tied to it. Pause. Oh my God. Yeah, she's been playing me while digging herself a financial grave. Rachel's voice softened. Ethan, what are you going to do? I stared at the wall, the reflection of the setting sun bleeding across it. I'm done being blind. What do you mean? I'm going to find out everything she's planning. Every word, every whisper. Ethan, I'm not going to confront her. Not yet. I want proof. To silence. Then quietly you sound different. Good. That night, I opened my laptop and bought a small voice recorder. Then another one, hidden inside a charging dock. I didn't feel guilt, not fear. Just focus, the kind that comes when the last piece of your heart finally freezes over. When Haley came home, her perfume hit first. That sweet citrus scent I used to love. You're still up? She asked. Couldn't sleep? I said. She tossed her purse on the couch, eyes wary. You look tense. Maybe because my wife handed me divorce papers. Ethan, please don't start. Start what? This. She gestured vaguely between us. The accusations, the guilt trips. I told you I just need peace. Peace. I said quietly. That what you call it? She frowned. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. Forget it. I forced a smile. You'll get what you want soon enough. Her shoulders eased a little. Thank you. Sure. I watched her go upstairs, her heels clicking like a countdown. When the bedroom door shut, I slipped my phone under the table, recording. I needed to know who she talked to when she thought I wasn't listening. An hour later, her muffled voice drifted down the hall. No, not yet. He's calm. Yeah, I think he'll sign soon. I turned the volume up, heart hammering. Once the divorce goes through, we'll finally be free. Silence. Then Dylan's voice, faint, but unmistakable. You sure he doesn't suspect? Her soft laugh cut through the static. Ethan never suspects anything. I sat frozen, the phone screen glowing like a confession. For a moment, I didn't feel pain, just clarity. Everything lined up, the sudden distance, the gala, the loans, the rehearsed attachment. They weren't just betraying me emotionally. They were setting me up financially. My tears didn't come. They couldn't. The well was dry. I hit stop on the recorder and stared at the waveform frozen on the screen. Her voice, captured forever. Rachel had been right. Mark too. But this wasn't about their warnings anymore. It was about me taking control. I opened a new folder on my computer and labeled it proof. Then another, leverage, inside. I saved the recording, every document Mark had sent, and a note to myself, never let emotion outrun strategy again. When Haley came back downstairs, I was calm. To calm, you're still up? She asked again, smiling faintly. Just working, I said. On what? Future plans. She tilted her head. That sounds optimistic, I said softly. I finally see things clearly. She kissed my cheek absently before heading to bed. The touch used to melt me. Now it burned when she was gone. I looked around the house, the photos, the furniture, the memories, all props in a play I didn't audition for. But now I knew the script, and next time, I'd be the one writing it. The plan felt like a low pulse under my skin. Steady, waiting. Mark sat across from me in the office with a laptop and that lawyer look he gets when he's serious. We move assets tonight, he said. We separate what's yours and what could be claimed. Document everything. What if she notices? I asked. She won't, Mark said. Not if we make it clean. Transfers, trust paper, time-stamped emails, and I'll pull public records so everything points away from you. Rachel walked in pretending to be breathless and cheerful. Hey, you two. She sang, dropping a bag of takeout on the counter. Her eyes met mine, and I saw the message. Play along, you look like you're plotting, she joked. We are, I admitted. But it's practical. You're doing the right thing, she said to me. Then to Mark, how long will it take? Couple hours for the transfers, then lock down communications, Mark explained. Ethan, picture this. You keep your business, your assets move to a legal buffer, and any claim she tries to make looks thin. Meanwhile, we compile proof of her loans and Dylan's involvement. I nodded, tasting the words like medicine, bitter, but necessary. That night, I called the bank, signed paperwork, and watched numbers move across screens. My stomach flipped each time a line confirmed the transfer. It felt wrong and righteous at once. Haley came home late and flounced into the living room, hair perfect, phone ready. She was glowing, posting pictures, laughing at comments. She didn't notice the documents I left on the coffee table, intentionally exposed. Big day? She asked, scrolling. Yeah, I said. Cleaning house. Cute. Did you finally admit you need help with your business? I kept my face neutral. Maybe. Don't be dramatic, Ethan. People change careers all the time. They leave marriages all the time, too. She glanced up, eyes cool. Please. I didn't marry a charity case. You make it sound like I owe you something. You do. You owe me the kind of life I signed up for. I let the words land. Then I stood and walked to the window, watching the city lights. I'll do what I can, I said softly. Later. Rachel texted me a photo Haley, smiling with Dylan in a restaurant, his arm around her. Haley's caption read, Old friends, new memories. I felt a spike of something I couldn't name. Rachel came over again, this time to feed Haley's ego. She stopped by Haley's job under the pretense of coffee and called her later. Playing the part that I was the distant husband who didn't understand success. She deserves better, Rachel said into her phone. Haley bloomed at the attention. See? People understand me, she told me, waving her phone like a trophy. I have friends who get me. You have followers, I corrected. Potato, potato. When the transfer's completed, Mark sent me a folder labeled evidence. We're not exposing anything yet, he warned. We accumulate. Time it so when we act, it's undeniable. How do I live with pretending? I asked. You don't have to pretend forever, Mark said. Just until the moment it matters. So the first pretended. I let Haley flaunt her happiness, post photos of nights out with Dylan, selfies that screamed intimacy. She'd come home and say, "People complimented me. They think I glow." "You look tired," I said once. "No, I'm living," she snapped. "You're the one clinging. You sound free." "I am." Her freedom felt like a blade. But each time she bragged, I smiled inwardly, 'cause our legal buffer grew thicker. One night she sat across from me with a smug look, swirling wine. "You'll never make it without me," she said, voice soft and cruel. The words cut, but I let my face stay calm. "Maybe," I said. She leaned forward. "You need someone to manage you." "I can manage myself," I answered. "You think so?" She laughed. "Please, Ethan. You're sentimental. People like you get chewed up. You think so little of me. I think reality matters. You're naive if you think charm runs a business. You're not the only one who can play practical." Her lips curled. "We'll see," I smiled then, slow and deliberate. "You will." Rachel kept feeding Haley's illusions, sometimes slipping a look my way when Haley turned away. Once she whispered, "Hold steady. Don't show your hand." I nodded. The charade felt like acting in a show where the stakes were my whole life. Days passed. I kept my routine meetings, calls, polite dinners while Mark collected bank records and emails, and Rachel collected compliments for Haley. The more she flaunted, the more reckless she seemed, and the safer I felt. On social media, Haley posted a story, a slow-motion video of her laughing, Dylan's hand on her back. Comments poured in stunning, "So happy for you." She tagged me in a caption, "Starting over feels right." My chest tightened, but my voice stayed steady when I texted. "Good for you." Her reply was immediate. "Thanks." Finally breathing, Mark called that night. "Lock your accounts and change passwords," he said. "Don't confront her. Let her speak." "I won't," I promised. Rachel texted, "Keep smiling."
8.
Practice the smile in the mirror, cold, patient. Part of me ached. Another part tasted victory. I slept with the plan. Tomorrow it starts. The courthouse smelled of polished wood and stale coffee. I sat at the plaintiff's table, hands steady on the folder that had taken months to build. My heart, though, wasn't steady at all. It thudded like a clock ticking down to judgment. Haley sat across from me, flawless as ever. She'd chosen a white blazer, symbolic, I guess. Dylan sat 2 rows behind her, whispering something with that same smug grin he always wore. The bailiff called our names. We stood Ethan Carter versus Haley Carter, the clerk read. Divorce hearing, financial division. The judge, a woman with sharp eyes and little patience, looked between us. "Are both parties ready?" Haley's lawyer nodded first. "Your Honor, my client only seeks a fair settlement. Mr. Carter has withheld joint assets," and I raised a hand slightly. "With all due respect, Your Honor, I'd like to present new evidence before any assumptions are made." Haley's eyes narrowed. "Ethan, what are you quiet, please?" the judge warned. "You may proceed, Mr. Carter." I opened the folder. My fingers brushed the pages, the proof of everything. Her hidden loans, forged signatures, corporate fraud. "Your Honor," I began, my voice calm but sharp. "This isn't about withheld assets. It's about deception, ongoing, deliberate deception by my wife and her associate." Haley's lawyer scoffed. "Objection." "Speculative." "It's not speculation," I said, sliding the first document forward. "These are certified bank records from Brooks and Avery Capital. Notice the signatures identical to mine, except I never signed them." The judge leaned forward. "Forgery." "Yes, ma'am," I said. "Haley used my name to co-sign unsecured loans totaling over $300,000. The guarantor? Dylan Brooks, her ex, sitting right there." A low murmur swept the courtroom. Haley's face drained of color. "That's not true. I was helping Dylan with investments." "You're twisting it." I met her eyes. "Helping him by mortgaging our house under my name?" Her mouth opened, then closed. Her lawyer stood, flustered. "Your Honor, we'll need time to verify." "Already verified," I said, holding up another set of papers. Bank statements, timestamps, and email confirmations. And since I anticipated this defense, I also recorded her calls. Dylan shifted uncomfortably. The judge's gaze sharpened. You have recordings? Yes. I connected my phone to the court's playback system and hit play. Haley's voice filled the room. Once the divorce goes through, we'll finally be free. Then Dylan's voice. You sure he doesn't suspect? Her laughter followed, brittle, cruel. Ethan never suspects anything. The courtroom fell silent. I looked at her, expression flat. I did suspect, Haley. I just waited for the right moment. She shook her head, trembling. You can't use private recordings. That's invasion. They're admissible. Her lawyer stammered, checking papers, since the recording was done within his own property. The judge leaned back, exhaling slowly. I'll need to review this in chambers, but at first glance, it appears serious. If these documents hold, we're not discussing divorce anymore. We're discussing fraud, forgery, and conspiracy. Dylan finally spoke, his voice breaking the hush. This is ridiculous. She didn't know about the loans. I handled that part. Haley spun toward him. What? You said everything was clean? Dylan stood abruptly. Don't turn this on me. The judge slammed her gavel once. Enough. Silence again. Mr. Brooks, she said coldly, you are not a party to this case, but you are implicated. I'm ordering a full financial investigation into your company and all joint accounts. Dylan's smirk vanished. Haley's hands trembled. Please, Your Honor, I didn't know. The judge's eyes softened just slightly. Mrs. Carter, ignorance won't shield you if you signed under false pretenses. Court will reconvene after financial review. Until then, all assets are frozen. My lawyer nodded beside me. I didn't smile. I just breathed deeply, steadily. The gavel came down. Haley stayed seated, staring blankly at the table. When she finally looked up, her eyes met mine, glassy and desperate. Ethan, why? Why would you do this? I leaned closer, voice low. Because you did it first. She shook her head, whispering, I thought you loved me. I did, I said quietly. Enough to believe your lies. The bailiff called for order and I turned away. Outside, the sky was blindingly bright, too bright for the wreckage left behind. I reached the parking lot before I heard her heels clatter behind me. Ethan! I stopped but didn't turn. You ruined me. She screamed. Her voice cracked. People nearby glanced over. Do you hear me? You destroyed everything. I turned then. Her makeup streaked down her face, tears cutting through her perfect facade. I didn't ruin you, Haley. Her lips trembled. You planned this? You wanted to humiliate me? I wanted the truth, I said. And now everyone has it. She stepped closer, almost stumbling. You'll regret this. You think this is justice? You think this fixes what we had? What we had, I said softly, was never real to you. She sobbed, shaking her head. I made mistakes. No, I whispered, cutting her off. You made choices. She sank to the pavement, her hands clutching her bag like it could anchor her. I just wanted a better life. I looked at her, the woman I once swore to protect, and felt nothing. No rage, no sorrow, just release. You had one? I said quietly. You traded it for lies. Her eyes met mine one last time, full of hollow fear. You're heartless, maybe, I said, but not blind anymore. She broke then, shoulders shaking. Dylan stood at a distance, silent, watching her crumble. The same man she betrayed me for couldn't even offer a hand. I turned toward my car. The sun glinted off the windshield, almost blinding. For the first time in months, I didn't look away. Behind me, her voice cracked again. Please, Ethan. I stopped just long enough to whisper, No, Haley. You ruined yourself. Then I walked away. The news broke 2 days after the hearing. Dylan Brooks' firm under federal investigation, the anchor said. Multiple accounts frozen, partners fleeing, and Brooks himself missing. I muted the TV. For a long time, I just sat there, watching his photo on the screen, that same smug grin now attached to the word fugitive. My phone buzzed. It was Rachel. You saw? She asked softly. I did, I said. Guess karma has its timing. She hesitated. And Haley, I exhaled. Last I heard, the bank repossessed her condo, her credit shot. She tried reaching out to some of my old clients. They shut her down. Rachel was quiet for a moment. Do you feel bad? Maybe once, I said. Not anymore. She hummed. You always had a soft spot, Ethan. Not soft, I murmured. Just slow to learn. That night, I reopened my office, smaller than before, but mine again. The lights flickered once before steadying. I walked through the empty space, running a hand across the new desk. Clean start. The next morning, Olivia's name flooded every feed. Public apology. The truth about Haley Carter. Click the video. Olivia sat in her car, eyes red, voice shaking. I can't stay silent anymore, she said. Haley made me post lies about Ethan, about their marriage, his business. I thought I was helping a friend, but I see now I was covering for fraud. She sniffed, glancing away. I'm sorry, Ethan, truly. The comments poured in like a storm. She used everyone. Justice served. Never trust a pretty face. I closed the app. Watching the internet turn on, Haley felt strange. Not satisfying, not painful, just quiet. Rachel stopped by later with coffee. You're trending, she teased, placing the cup on my desk. Hashtag justice for Ethan. I never thought I'd see that. I smirked. Neither did I. Feels weird having strangers root for me. She laughed lightly. They're not rooting for you. Exactly. They're rooting for the idea of revenge done right. Maybe, I said. I'm just glad it's over. Rachel sat across from me, studying my face. Is it, though? You think I'm still hung up on her? I think you're too calm, she said. Like you built walls instead of closing doors. Her words stung, mostly because they felt true. Later that week, my new project got its first investor. Small deal, but enough to start. The office slowly filled with light again. Laughter, phones ringing, energy I'd forgotten existed. Rachel laughed more too. Sometimes I caught her humming while drafting reports, sunlight glinting off her hair. Feels good seeing you smile, I told her one afternoon. She grinned. Feels good seeing you live again? I chuckled. Guess I forgot how. That night, I drove home under a violet sky. Windows down, cold air rushing in. It felt like breathing after years underwater. Still, when I passed the old neighborhood, my hands tightened on the wheel. Her old apartment was dark, curtains drawn. One light flickered faintly through the window. I parked for a moment without meaning to. My mind whispered, don't do this. But my eyes stayed fixed. The front door opened. Haley stepped out, thinner, hair tangled, a hoodie instead of her usual perfection. She looked around like the world might recognize her and judge her again, be it already had. I didn't get out of the car. She glanced toward the street, her eyes empty, searching. For a second I thought she saw me. She didn't. She just sighed and walked back inside. The door shut softly. And that was it. The sound of finality. I drove off. Asterisk back home. Rachel called. You okay? Yeah, I said. Just thinking. About her? About how fast everything changes, I replied. One lie at a time, as she was silent for a beat. You know, you don't owe her your thoughts anymore. I know, I said. But sometimes, memories don't ask for permission. She laughed gently. Then let them pass through. Don't offer them coffee. I smiled. I'll try. After the call, I stood by the window. The city lights blinked in the distance, soft and distant, like stars you can't quite reach but no longer need to. I poured myself a drink, not to numb, just to mark an ending. The silence that followed wasn't heavy anymore. It was peaceful. My phone buzzed again. A message from Rachel, proud of you. Tomorrow's a new start, I typed back. Yeah, finally feels like one. I set the phone down, exhaling. Somewhere out there, Haley's world was collapsing. Debts, apologies, whispers turning into silence. Dylan was gone, his empire dust. Olivia was trying to rebuild her name, and me. I was just learning how to live without bitterness. I looked at my reflection in the glass, tired eyes, faint smile. Guess we survived, I whispered. For a moment, I thought I heard her voice again, from some distant memory, laughter, soft and manipulative. But it faded just as quickly as it came. All that remained was quiet. I finished my drink and turned off the lights. In the darkness, I felt something I hadn't in months. Peace. Not victory, not revenge, just release. And as the silence settled, I realized something simple. I didn't hate Haley. I pitied her, because she'd traded love for greed, truth for performance, and ended up with nothing. I had lost everything once, but now. I was free, asterisk. The afternoon was calm, just sunlight, chatter, and the soft hum of traffic. I sat outside the cafe, nursing my coffee, the kind of quiet day that didn't demand anything from me. Then I heard it. Ethan? My chest tightened before my mind caught up. That voice familiar, hesitant, cracked. I turned. Haley stood there, thinner than I remembered. Her one straight hair hung uneven, and her eyes looked hollow. The same eyes that once made promises now just searched for mercy. She gave a trembling smile. You look. Good, I nodded. You don't. Her face faltered. I deserve that. I leaned back in my chair. I didn't mean it to hurt. Just being honest. She sighed. I was stupid. Blind. I thought Dylan cared that he'd make me feel alive again. And did he? I asked. She looked down. He used me. Took everything and left. I sipped my coffee, letting the silence stretch. She shifted uncomfortably, clutching her purse like it could hide her guilt. I lost everything, she whispered. The house, the job. Even Olivia won't return my calls. I nodded slowly. You built your life on illusions. They're not meant to last, her voice cracked. I know, that's why I came. I wanted to tell you I'm sorry, Dud. I studied her face. The desperation, the exhaustion. There was no manipulation this time, no spark of control. Just a woman standing in the wreckage of her choices. Haley, I said quietly, I forgave you a long time ago. Her eyes flickered with confusion. You did? Yes, I said. Because hating you kept me stuck. I carried your betrayal like a chain, and it was killing me. She stepped closer. Then maybe we could know. The word came out soft but final. She froze, her lips parting in shock. I don't hate you, I said, but I don't want you back. Her eyes filled with tears. Ethan, please. I've changed. I'm not that person anymore. I hope that's true, I said, for your sake, but you can't rebuild something that burned down to ashes. She took a trembling breath. You were the best thing that ever happened to me. I was just the one who loved you the most, I said. You mistook that for something disposable. Her tears fell freely now. I don't expect you to take me back. I just needed to tell you the truth. I stood, tossing a few bills on the table. You told me. That's enough. Where are you going? She asked weakly. Forward. Her hand reached out, brushing my sleeve. Can't we at least talk? Just once more? I looked at her hand, trembling cold, then at her face. The woman who once held my entire world now looked like a stranger begging for pieces of it back. I spent too many nights talking to your memory, said. It's time I stop. She lowered her hand, defeated. You really don't feel anything? I paused. I feel peace. Her lips quivered. You must hate me for ruining everything, I smiled faintly. You didn't ruin everything. You just forced me to rebuild. She swallowed hard. And you did? I did, I said. Better than before, she wiped her eyes. I'm glad. I really am. Hope you find peace too, I said. Not through someone else this time, just yourself. Her shoulders sagged. Goodbye, Ethan. Goodbye, Haley. I turned and walked away, the sound of her quiet sobs fading behind me. The wind carried the faint scent of rain, cool and cleansing. For the first time in months, my steps felt light. At the corner, I glanced back. She was still standing there, watching me leave the same way I'd once watched her go. Only now, I didn't ache. I didn't wish for another ending. I slipped my hands into my pockets, breathing in the crisp air. Rachel's words echoed in my mind. Don't offer your past a seat at your table. She was right. I'd finally stopped setting a place for ghosts. As I reached the car, my phone buzzed. A message from Rachel. Lunch tomorrow? I smiled. Yeah, my treat. When I looked up again, the street stretched ahead, bright, open, alive. I'd lost a wife. But I'd found myself, and that was enough.